I want to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. So I've spent the past couple of months trying to avoid all kinds of media when it comes to this game because I've been so excited to play it properly. And all I do know is that the internet is incredibly thirsty for this bloke.
And to think, I was ready to decorate the ground with your innards. Apologies.
Hello there, and welcome to another 5-hour review where we pick a game, play it for 5 hours, write down our deepest, darkest feelings, and then make it into a little YouTube video for your entertainment. All with the idea of answering the question, will we keep playing? Oh, it's been a while. I almost forgot to do the intro. So Baldur's Gate is pretty much as close to playing D&D without friends as we're ever going to get. And considering all of my friends are either my cousin or live in a different country, yeah, Wales is a different country, like read a book. I mean, Wikipedia says so.
That explains things somewhat.
So I'm going to take this opportunity with both hands. Right, no messing about. Let's get our timer going. And if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's crack on. So after picking what kind of genitalia I want my quite clearly fake bearded halfling bard, so I also chose Don's guardian. And in this case, I chose a large half-orc lady. Mainly because I think that little Don really deserves what the kids are calling a muscle mummy. The internet's an interesting place sometimes.
Second worm gets the cheese and all.
So we wake up on a Mind Flayer Nautiloid, which is basically a spaceship. In these kind of like weird cocoon things, which are kind of cool. We get subjected to some eye horror, which is disgusting. And then we escape, which is great. So after some mooching about, we escape the ship with a couple of potential romance options and pockets full of mostly garbage. Then we fall almost headfirst into the titular Baldur's Gate. Wait, what? It's not Baldur's Gate. Oh, well, where are we then? It's just called Ravaged Beach. You're joking, right? You joke. Where's Baldur's Gate then? No, not until after Act 2. What? How big is this game? Right, well, f me then.
Forgive me. I had no idea.
So off you pop in search of people that can remove this parasite from your eye or brain. It's not overly clear right now as to which one it is, but it needs to get gone. So off you go trying to look for people that can do that.
I don't have a cure.
So on your travels, you meet the rest of your adventuring party. I mean, we've already got Lae'zel, who's a Githyanki fighter who worships Blackheath.
But you waste time with idle chatter.
Shadowheart, the half-elf cleric of Shah.
Maybe we'll get lucky.
Starion, the half-elf rogue who tries to stab you the first time you meet him.
You seem like a useful person to know.
You've got Gale, the human wizard, who you pull out of a portal when you first meet him. He's devoted to Mistra.
Hello.
You got Will, the Blade of Frontiers, human warlock who helps you fight off some
Provoke the
goblins.
blade. And suffer its sting.
Then you got Karlach, a tiefling barbarian who I actually never got to meet in my 5 hours of gameplay. Did just after, don't worry about it. Also, my favorite party was myself, Will, Shadowheart, and Karlach. So I don't want any notes on that. That's genuinely the perfect party as far as I'm concerned. So after some adventuring, murdering, looting, chatting, all that fun stuff, we find this grove with some tieflings in it, which some druids unfortunately want to lock the place down. I presume to artificially drive up the housing prices.
Give him a chance.
Tieflings can't catch a break.
I will imprison the devil. And I will cast out every stranger.
So we got off in search of this druid leader called Halsim, who would stop the grove from being locked down and could probably help us fix our parasite eye problem. So win-win, right? So we end up having to go to this goblin camp and fight our way through it to find this druid. And while we're at it, there's apparently a goblin priestess who might be able to help us as well. So, 2 stones, 1 bird.
The Absolute has touched you. hasn't she?
So after convincing the goblins we're sort of one of them with this absolute illithid powers, we find house him in a jail cell, and he's full on big beastie bear form. And that's it. That's literally as far as I got in my 5 hours. I'm not joking. This is a massive game.
You can go, but you make one wrong step and I'll rip you to shreds.
So this genuinely feels like the kind of that some GMs I've played with in the past would cook up over a weekend. It's really got that D&D feeling down pat. It's incredible. I've spent far more time exploring and clearing the fog of war from the map than what I would normally do in games like this. I was also genuinely really surprised at how often non-combat skills came up in gameplay, which is amazing considering the fact that I chose Bard. So 5 hours in, I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. This game is genuinely huge. Considering the fact that I'm pretty sure I'm not even halfway through Act 1, yeah, this is gonna be a long one. So my one main gripe is that our player character is mute. He doesn't say anything in dialogue, and we choose the voice that we want for our main character. But the NPCs seem to carry most of the conversation as they're like standing there talking to a gormless mute. This is particularly egregious considering the fact that if you're playing it single player like I did, chances are your character's gonna be the main source of charisma in the past. It's a shame, but it's not necessarily a deal breaker. Oh, you points and click beauty, you. This is a big chill out game if ever I've seen one. I was sat in my office, reclined, feet up, relaxed the entire time.
Today has been a lot.
Almost every NPC, every animal that I've met, all this sort of thing, they're all interactable. So if you get the chance to speak with animals, speak with animals. You get some real fun interactions with it. Sometimes I wished I could move the camera a bit more. Like if I could zoom in and out properly, like if I could move it around so I can look up and down. I know this isn't a third person game, so it's not that big a deal. I know it's like a top down isometric. It would make my life a little bit easier, especially with some fights when there's enemies in the rafters. It makes it kind of difficult. The combat itself is exceptional. It really scratches that like tactical combat itch that I love in D&D games. I also love the fact that every character has a melee and a ranged option, and you can switch between the two really quite easily. It makes the characters far better rounded than what you would normally have on a tabletop. So that's really fun, especially in a video game environment. The action system itself works incredibly well. So the idea of melee, spells, range, items, all that, it all integrates really easily, and it's really enjoyable. Can I level with you again? I played the 5 hours of this, wrote most of this script, and then continued to sink 35 more hours into this game before actually recording and editing this video. So safe to say it's quite fun.
I'd have said that. Bit wordy though, isn't it?
Putting that aside, it really seems that this game was specifically designed for a nerd like myself. Genuinely, ever since starting up Britwits, I found it really hard to find a game I just want to sit down and play for fun, as opposed to recording it and all that sort of thing and editing it, all that fun stuff. This is one of those games. I've really enjoyed just sitting down playing it for hours on end. With that being said, however, chances are Joel and I are either streaming this right now, or the three of us are doing a free player let's play with like pretend D&D characters. Keep your eyes peeled. There might be some more Baldur's Gate 3 content coming from us.
A hand? Anyone?
The gameplay, the visuals, the writing, it all hits for me. It's all really well done. I did have a couple of weird visual glitches, like where Don's beard or Don's hat would like go elsewhere like during conversations. It's funny and not necessarily immersion breaking. Okay, so on the way to the goblin camp, there's this windmill and there's a gnome tied to one of the blades, and there's goblins like taunting him, throwing things at him, all that sort of thing. And after you kill all the goblins, you can try and save them. And the way you do that is by just stopping the windmill. What I accidentally did was I hit the lever that sped up the windmill, which sent him flying to his inevitable death. A++. I cannot recommend this anymore. So, after all of that, I want to give Baldur's Gate a...
I am satisfied.
Out of 10.
A little help, please.
Oh, boyo, that was a fun one. If Joel and I are streaming, then please come and watch us over on BritTwitch. Links will be in the description, all that fun stuff. I had an absolute blast playing this game. We'd probably be doing a let's play with like actual D&D characters as mentioned in the video, which should be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you very, very much for sticking with me through my incoherent ramblings. And we really appreciate your support. We're really loving making these videos, actually. They're a lot of fun. And if you like the video, if you enjoyed it, please like it, please give it a comment. Let us know what race and class you chose on your first playthrough. If you've played the game, or if you haven't, what race and class would you choose? I'm genuinely interested. Like, I'm really tempted to play a Dragonborn sorcerer at some point because they're like two of my favorite things. If you've managed to stumble across us from the depths of YouTube, then welcome. Welcome to the channel. Please feel free to subscribe if you want to. There's far more like this and Let's Plays and other content that you can get your teeth stuck into, which we hope you'd enjoy. There should be some videos over there or over there, whichever way around it is. I always forget. It's quite embarrassing. I've done enough of these. I should really know where the videos pop up. But feel free to click those and watch them. But I think I've kept you for far too long. Thank you again for watching. See you soon. Love you. Bye.